This is a short video to show how I've solved my problem of ineffective service dog tugs. So this is the little piece of equipment that I've designed. It goes on a lever doorknob handle, so it slides over the handle, and then this is a piece of double-sided Velcro that wraps around the sort of center part of the doorknob that is attached to the door. And securely holds it in place, and then you can attach whatever kind of tug you like to this ring, and it gives the dogs really good leverage for opening and pulling the doors shut. The more distance they have from the center, the better leverage they have to open that door. So they're really easy to make. They only require a couple materials, so all you'll need is first just some kind of durable outdoor fabric. I got this from the remnants rack at Joann. If you wanted, you could get a pattern or a color, but I just got this cheap, strong outdoor fabric. And it's a 4-inch by 4-inch square. You'll need this sort of mesh to reinforce the body of the tube. This also just came from Joann. It's just a plastic mesh, and it has fabric that runs inside it, or some thread. And this is 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches. You'll need about between 8 and 9 inches of double-sided Velcro. So one side is the sort of rough and the other is the soft. So when it's wrapped up, it sticks to itself. You'll need one of these little rivets. The size is not terribly important. I found these at Lowe's, and it came in a kit with its own press here to close the rivets. And then lastly, you'll need just a small key ring. These are, I think, about 1 inch in diameter. So the first thing you'll do is you'll center your piece of plastic mesh in the center of your outdoor fabric, and you're going to stitch along 2 sides. Because it's a square, it doesn't matter which sides go first, and so you'll stitch along this side and along this side to secure the mesh in place. So this one's finished. You can see I've stitched along here, and that's what's going to form the outside edges of your tube. The next step is to secure the Velcro in place. I tend to put it right around the middle of this piece of fabric, and this is going to be the inside of your tube. So if you're using a piece of fabric that has a pattern, you want to make sure that your pattern is on the outside, and then this is the inside of your little tube of fabric. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half, and you want the inside out, so this will eventually be hidden. We're going to flip this tube, but you'll just stitch along this edge right here to close it up into a tube, just like this. And because I placed my piece of Velcro kind of in the middle, it's naturally turned itself into a little bit of a triangular tent looking thing here. And then I'm going to take my Velcro, stick it up inside the tube, and I'm going to flip this tube inside out. And it takes a little bit of finagling, but because you've got this piece of Velcro, you can hold on to it and pull, and after just a second or two of sort of pushing and pulling at it, I can usually get it flipped inside out fairly easily. See here. Sometimes the sort of bottom edge is a bit tricky. There we go. And then you can just sort of smooth everything out. Get all the edges nice and smooth. And there you've got your tube. So once you have a tube like this, the next step is to figure out where you're going to put your little rivet. So I tend to think about my door handle and which way, if I'm going to be sliding it on my door like this, or if I'm going to be sliding it on my door like this. So the door that I've got in my house right now, it's going to wrap this way around the door handle. So I'm going to put my rivet right down here in sort of the bottom left corner. And all you have to do is you'll just poke a hole with, I've got just a pair of sharp scissors, and sort of twist it down in there to make a hole. Grab your little rivet and poke it through. And I like to check on the inside and look and see, make sure I've got all the little fabric strings and things out of the way. Sort of pull them around the edges of the rivet so they aren't covering it. Let's see here. Sometimes I have to go back in with my scissors and make a little bit bigger of a hole. There we go. And I don't know if you can see this, but I've got all the little strings out of the way of that little hole now, so that when I press it, the rivet can bend around and clamp on the edges of the fabric there. So I'll take my little press. The pointy side I find works best if I put the little pointy side into the inside of the tug, and then just get it lined up and press. And there you see it's sealed itself up. Put it back around. And then all you have to do, is the last step, is take your 1-inch key ring, bend it through this hole. Oops. You can also, you can use your pair of scissors to help open up this ring. Just like that, and then see if I can get this. Oops. Sometimes this could be the hardest part. There we go. Get it twisted in there, and there you have it. A super easy, super effective tug for an assistance dog on a lever doorknob. Alright, so here's how to install these little tugs that we just made. All you have to do is slide the fabric tube over your door handle and then tightly wrap this Velcro. The tighter you wrap it, the better it's going to stay on there. Some of the dogs get kind of enthusiastic and can pull pretty tightly. So then I'm going to take this even a little bit tighter here. And then for your tug, I just have a piece of braided fleece with a loop on the end. You can use leashes, work great. You can tie knots in them and they've got a clip on the end. You could make a piece of fabric and put knots in that, anything that you want to use as your tug. And then Rufus, tug. Super easy, good boy. Good, come on. Super easy for the dogs to get the doors open.